Back at it again, guys. We are here on part 2. Take it from there, John.
Part 2 of the Q&A. Let's take it from the top and let's just get going. All right. So, question number quick disclaimer, won't be name dropping anybody unless no, I'm just kidding.
Unless
Won't be
your
unless you're truly
question is kind of weird.
unless your question is kind of odd. Now, question number 1, are y'all hiring? Nope,
You know what?
not at the
Let,
moment.
let me say this. We're not hiring, right? But we're also not hiring. Let me explain, right? So I think you have to bring value to really to the whole situation and
To
say,
join the
hey,
team, yeah.
yeah, like here's what I do, and here's what I can do for the team.
Here's how I can help.
Yeah, here's how I can help, right? So I would say we're not hiring, but we're also not hiring. So if you want to collaborate, if you want to join, reach out. It's always good for a chat.
Yeah.
So,
Cool. Where do you see the biggest opportunity in real estate over the next 12 months?
ooh, that's a good one. What do you think? What do you think? I have my own opinion, but what do you think?
Where do you see the biggest opportunity in real estate over the next 12 months? Development. Probably development. I
Me
would say
too.
that. Um, Development and leases, man. I would say residential leases is where it's at. Yeah. Now, I'll tell you what. Let me tap into that a little bit deeper, right? It could be any form of leases, but World Cup is coming.
Oh yeah.
Guys, stay tuned. World Cup is coming. Imagine if you go to a hotel right now and you pay $200, $300, $400 a night. What do you think is gonna be when the World Cup is here?
Mm,
Right? What do you think a night at a hotel near Arlington is gonna be when the World Cup is here? Shit, you're probably looking at near $1,000. It's gonna be crazy, bonkers. So I think if you can step in right now and snatch something up for yourself and capitalize on that time frame, then why not? Or maybe even Airbnbs, right? Near the stadiums. I see that
yeah,
as an opportunity.
me too. For me, it's more about development. I think development, it's always a good thing. And what I mean about development is like developing land. So if you buy land and you develop it and you make lots or you create communities, you're always ahead because you bought the actual deal at the dirt level. So, you can always capitalize on it. Yep.
True. All right. Next question. How to get my first deal, or how do I get my first deal? What do you think,
Mm,
Los?
That's a broad question, but I'll
Yeah.
answer it the best way possible. Like, what do you mean? Like, are you looking to buy a house for yourself? Are you looking to, well, let's just say, acquire an investment deal? That's more of what we deal with, so I'll answer from that position. So how do you get your first investment deal? I would say number one, get capital. On the previous part, we spoke about how much capital you need. Number two, not be partner, but partner yourself or get with a realtor or an agent that works in the investment field. Not all agents work in that space, so just find someone that does. Shameless plug, you have two here. And then from there, set up an actual game plan, right? Figure out how, where, what you need to buy based on your budget and then based on projections of profit. So, with all of that said, find capital, partner with an agent, set up a game plan, execute.
I agree. Uh, what's the cheapest upgrade that makes your house feel more expensive?
We spoke about that one yesterday.
Yeah, that one. Okay, so that's a repeat right there. Um, Next, what is a hard money loan? Spoke about that.
Yeah.
What energized you about your career?
What energized me about my career?
Yeah. Well, so what an odd question, but
It's a good one, I guess.
yeah,
What motivated me was my kids. What energizes me, again, every day. It's kind of like an odd situation, but I guess what gives me energy. throughout the day outside of Red Bulls and coffee. I would say it's more like the dynamic. So
We got a side comment from the production team
go ahead, production.
saying
That bus. What's that
there's a
bus?
lot of things that make me bust, right? However, let me dive into that, right?
Yeah.
Let's extrapolate
Yeah, there's
what I
many
just
men
said.
that work with John on that.
Pa- Pause there. I don't know what he means by that, right? He has another idea
Yeah, yeah.
of
Go
what
ahead, man.
busting means in his head. Now, uh, I've told people before that you know that feeling that you guys get when you go to the fair or you go to Six Flags and you're on a roller coaster or on a scary ride, that gut feeling, right? Or when
You
you
felt it in your gut?
all right, pause again. But
I mean,
but
that's what you're saying, guy. Go ahead. I didn't mean to
well,
cut you off.
anyways, that adrenaline, right?
Adrenaline.
That adrenaline, that's that's something that I chase with real estate all the time. So, that being said, I think the closest thing in real estate that gives me that is negotiations and back and forth. I guess the art of winning. I'll put it to you like this. You know what's better than winning? Beating somebody. So
Yeah.
real estate
Michael
gives,
Jordan.
yeah, real estate gives me that, and while doing that, you're able to secure awesome deals for people and change the trajectory of their lives forever. So that energizes me with in my career, right?
Yep.
I'm like, hell yeah, that's why I fucking do it. You know
I
what I mean?
love it.
What do you think?
I think so. That keeps the energy going every day. I think every day there's a bunch of things that go on throughout our days as far as transactions, like many transactions that require one thing to be overcome every single time.
Yeah.
I think those wins, but when somebody's so negative that it's not going to happen and you just prove them wrong that you can make it work. You just have to find a very specific way. I think that is what energizes me and keeps me going every day. Finding that one little needle in the whole haystack. That is dope.
Boom.
That keeps the adrenaline pumping.
What are common mistakes new investors make when borrowing hard money? What do you
Oh,
think?
I think, I have an example that comes to mind right off the bat, right off the bat. So specifically for new investors and specifically for investors that have capital but have never done this or don't want to do this. A lot of the new investors that we speak with and that we deal with, um, they look at hard money as something so expensive, right? Like you hear a lot of like 12%, 11%, 10%. Wow, that's so high. But think about it like this, right? Like you're comparing apples and oranges, right? In the traditional space, I'm just gonna say 4 to maybe 6% is kind of the overall kind of situation that you're gonna see, right?
Mhm.
But in the hard money space, I think we spoke about it yesterday, where it was like, dude, you see, call it 9 to like maybe 12, 13, 14%, right? So for us, hearing 10 to 12 is kind of like it's a given. It's the space. However, here's kind of where I'm going, right? Something for you to really digest. When you look at rates and fees and you don't look at the liquidity, right? Liquidity is the oxygen of hard money
Yeah.
loans. So what does that mean? That when you prioritize having low fees up front, but you're getting charged a lot more to get those fees or to get those rates, then you're putting 50K down to close a deal just so you can get a 9%, but you could have spent 10 to 15 grand and you can get a 12%. Sure, it's a lot higher on the interest rate, but now you have 35K extra to move your actual project and finish it. That is probably where I see a lot of investors kind of like pitfall and just stumble. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're it's crazy because it's the whole thing on the retail side too, right? Like you're paying for a sticker price,
Mm-hmm.
right? I tell it to people all the time, like you're gonna
Yeah.
pay for it one way or another. So if you want a 8% interest rate, 9% interest rate, 10% interest rate or less on a hard money loan, you're gonna have to come out of pocket
Yeah.
way heftier, right? Which in essence, it doesn't make any sense, right? Because
For
you're
some people, yeah.
for some people, right? Well, typically, like if you're gonna do maybe I don't know less than four a year, like let's just say one a year, two a year, sure, like go all out and get the cheapest rate,
Yeah.
right? But if your idea is to scale this and
Build a
do,
business.
yeah, build a business, do 5, 10, 15, 20 a year, you know what I mean? Then you're gonna need more liquidity,
Yeah.
more of your liquidity, right?
Yep. Yep.
Rather than stick it into the loan and dump it into the loan. But that's what I think. Uh, let's see. What career advice would you give to your younger self? I'll tell you what I would say to my younger self. If I could speak to my younger self right now,
What would you say to that young buck? Hey, young buck.
I would say be more fearless. More
Jesus
fearless. Yeah.
Christ, that guy would be cocky even more.
What
In a good way.
maybe true, right? True. I wouldn't put it past me, right?
Production, what do you think about that statement? Very true.
Hey, wouldn't
Hey,
put it past me.
in a good
Now,
way.
now listen. The hard lessons that life has taught me has made me bulletproof, right? So, uh,
Eh,
I don't mean that literally.
eh,
I don't mean that
eh.
literally, but
Bring out
but
the
they just okay. All right. Now,
production.
my confidence, right?
Yeah.
Peak peak confidence, right? So,
Peak level. Peak level.
peak level. Nothing can shake me. No words can hurt me, right? Your thoughts are not my concern and they do not get me paid. So, yes, I would tell my younger self to be way more fearless. And yeah, that's what I would have told him.
Yeah, that's good.
What about you?
For me, I would say, something along the lines of the same thing of fearless. I don't know, maybe not necessarily fearless, but be more confident, I think, which is kind of similar, right?
Mhm.
So I think at the beginning I was really timid. I was really shy. Um, I felt like I needed to, I don't know, be in a little box and not not, not shine. It's like, no, you don't do that. You stay in. Anyways, yeah, I would say like just be more confident in yourself and just allow, be yourself. I think that would be more of my thing. Like be yourself. For a long time I just didn't allow myself to just be myself. Now, hear me out. Jonathan knows me now, right? And he enjoys thoroughly just hanging out. But production, do we agree? Yeah, there
His job is on the line.
don't.
So he has to
Listen,
answer
listen.
adequately.
Not the case, not the case. He has freedom of speech. Wink, wink. You know what I mean? So, long story short, just be yourself, man. That's really what I would say. So,
Yeah. Would you say on that note, would you say being yourself is a luxury that most people do not get to live
I believe so because
or they can't afford, right?
they can't afford to live that, right? Because look, so
That's why I do it. That's why
yeah,
I'm me.
I
I'm
think
me for all the people that can't be themselves.
it's a great excuse and I love it. I'm going to use that. No, look, I think it's cool that like for example, right? Like Jonathan is Jonathan, man. I think everybody that knows Jonathan knows that it's his own vibe, its own character, right? But
Unapologetic.
very, very charismatic, right? On the other hand, I think myself, I'm a little bit more reserved, conservative, square box, right? But ultimately, I just that's kind of how I grew up. So, but I wish I had given myself the opportunity to be more free. There you go. And just be myself. Like, just, I'm goofy sometimes, so I
Goofy
just,
ass boy.
I just want to be.
That goofball ass boy.
Come on now.
Everybody, hey,
Listen,
everybody
listen,
in the
listen.
comments,
No,
hey, say
no.
goofball. Hey, hey, somebody's a goofball. All
Hey,
right,
somebody
dang.
dropped Teletubby on this one for my boy Jonathan.
All right, all right. This one, let's see.
Put that on the clip.
How do you determine if a property is better for a flip or versus a rental?
That's a good one. That's a great question, actually.
That is actually won't name drop, but it's from our sales rep at National Title Group.
There you go.
So if you who you're listening, much
All right,
love to you out there.
let me tell them how I see it. So, one of the things that we look at is always, well, there's various factors, right? If we're getting technical, some of the technical things that I personally look at is layout. Crazy enough, the lot size and lot layout. When I
That too.
initially said layout, I meant like the interior layout of the home. And then I look at the lot layout, right? It has to just have some cool feng shui. Outside of that, obviously, repair budget. We look at the fundamentals, the five mechanicals: roof, foundation, HVAC, electrical, and plumbing. We consider those, and depending on how many of those we need to fix outside of the cosmetic package, then we figure out, okay, this is going to be more rental grade, or this is going to be more of a flip grade. But you know what? I'll also add this. Me and Jonathan have looked at plenty of homes, and we have this idea that all deals work, but they as long as they meet the number, right? Every deal has a number where we and anybody would buy it at, right?
Mm,
Sometimes that number is absurd and it's like, I don't know, let's just say the house is worth 300 and we're like, "Oh, dude, this will work at 100K." Yeah, I mean, when it's like that, yeah, but when you put numbers together and if they're asking, I don't know, 170 and the numbers work for you at, call it 155, dude, it seems like a lot, but you're not too far off. So we always put offers, and if the offer hits, the offer hits, and we move forward with it. But yeah, but we obviously analyze a lot more before that. But
that's true.
I would say some of the other variables that we consider are going to be layout, interior, layout for the lot, right? And then the mechanicals and what we need to fix.
It's never not about the money because if it was free, you would buy it,
Yep.
right? Okay. An owner finance deal. On an owner finance deal, if the buyer stops paying, when does the property default back to the seller? Go ahead.
Okay. So there is obviously a deed of trust, right? That is signed in order for you to sell a property owner finance. You obviously go through title again. You essentially have a deed of trust. That deed of trust states that, hey, after three payments, you essentially we're going to start the foreclosure proceeding, right? And we can take the property back. So but even more than that, I would say that there's other things you can do, but I'll go a little bit further and say that, man, it's an owner finance deal. It's really you and the person. So if it's me and Jonathan, right? Jonathan is buying or bought it from me. Like, I would try to work it out and come up with a game plan. Whenever you are owner financing, you're the bank, so you never really want the house back. Kind of like the banks, right? You don't really want the house, you just want the payments, right? So keep in mind that when you sell the property on a finance, you have now become an investor of holding a note. So you're a note investor. So you want the payments to keep coming in. So anything that can help, the client or the person keep them coming as far as the payments, then that's what you want.
I agree. How do I meet like minded individuals?
I'll leave that for John.
I'd say whatever industry you're in or trying to tap into, networking events, man, they never fail to work.
Networking events.
Yeah, so there's this site, really good site, Eventbrite,
Oh yeah.
eventbrite.com. You can go in there and look up networking events for whatever industry that you're in, and literally there's like obviously there's going to be paid for events, but
Yeah.
there's also free events, right? So, I mean, I'll even let me put y'all on. So, the Statler in downtown Dallas
Oh yeah.
always has a real estate networking event from 6 and on, right? And every Tuesday, by the way, at the rooftop bar. So, and all they do is talk about real estate, right? It's all real estate people, right, in the industry, insurance agents, brokers, lenders, agents, wholesalers, they all go. So, that I would say that. And another thing that works too, Facebook groups. Facebook groups to meet other people in the industry, right?
Yeah.
Usually you'll meet a little bit more of like more involved people. Like even if it's real estate, the bigger players are usually kind of like in the Facebook groups. They're no longer going to networking events because then they don't, I mean, they no longer need to throw their name out there. It's all word of mouth. But yeah, that's what I would say.
Yep. I second that.
Yeah.
Stadler, Tuesdays, 7.
Matter of fact, the closing from today, the guy that I met at, well, actually, the closing from today was from a guy that I met at the Statler about a month ago. So all that to say, like these networking events, they work, man.
Yep.
You meet people and you never know who you'll be doing business with. Just go, be kind, be yourself, right?
Be
Just
yourself.
shameless plug, right? Talk about what you do and do your thing. All right. With 35K starting capital, what properties should I invest in for my first flip? Large or small? I
Mm,
think uh I think it's not about large or small, right? I think it's easier to put it like this, something like under like 200K or under 250, right? Because you're also capped to your 35K, right?
yeah. So I would say going back to what I mentioned, right? Like how would you acquire your first deal? One of those points I mentioned, like partnering up with like an agent and not necessarily partnering up as we're taking part of that profit, but more like working with an agent that understands the business. And like for an example on our end, one of the things that we advise on people, right, is time. Like
Mhm.
a lot of people just look at a flip as a glorious thing where you're gonna come in, make money, and then flip it and whatever, sell it. But a lot of people don't look at how much time you're really gonna invest. So I would say, how do you pick the home? Obviously, numbers wise, you have 35. So more than likely with 35, you're gonna be somewhere under 200K. Also, how you determine which property under 200K, it determines obviously on some of the other factors, like if it's a cosmetic deal versus like something really heavy workload wise. And then also how much time you have, right? Like, are you working a 9 to 5? Are you not working and you're going to put all your time into this, right? Those are two extremes, but like there's obviously mixes where maybe you work at nights. So there's a little bit more to it, but even if you work 9 to 5, this is doable. We have several people that do it that are working 9 to 5, but it does consume more of your time. So time and money is the mix that we use to determine which project you're going to get.
Nice. Where do you see the market shifting in the next few months? I think it's kind of like rephrasing the other question, right? But I would say, bro, I mean, I'll tell you what,
What
I think
do you think?
rentals, huh?
Rentals?
I think rentals is where it's at for investors, right? Um, I mean, shit.
I disagree.
I think it's the whole saying, right? When people are scared, you buy. You're greedy. When people are
Yeah.
scared, be greedy.
Be greedy when others are fearful, and be
Yeah,
fearful when others are greedy.
yeah. There you
Warren
go.
Buffett.
By Warren Buffett. So that's what I would say. I mean, the true investors, they're I mean, they're buying, bro. They're
Yeah,
buying. And then because no one's like aside from them, no one else is buying. So
yeah.
you get to I mean,
You get some good deals.
yeah, for lack of better words, you're fucking stepping on necks, right? So I mean shit, I just got one under contract today. You know what I mean? 15 grand below. You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
what do you
You
think?
know, there's a consumer index, right? And
Yeah.
it gauges fearfulness and greed,
Mhm.
right? And right now, people are like really, really fearful,
Mhm.
right? Obviously, there's a lot of talks about the economy and like what's going on. Not a lot of people are working. We get a lot of phone calls like from previous trades that we work with, like, "Hey, do you have any work? Do you have any work?" Right? So I know it's like that right now. However, I would say that this is probably one of the best times to buy. I think that flips are still a good option. However, you have to understand what you're doing with the flip in the sense of like, for example, if you're buying it at, again, this is just an example, right? Like if you're buying it at 150K, you're putting 50K in it, that's 200K, and you're thinking that you're gonna resell it at 275 based on comps. Like, I think I think that that is what the comp or call it market value is, but the market sentiment is lower, right? So, like what John said, he got a deal at 15K below asking. So, same thing, right? Like if you're gonna sell the deal and it comped out at 275, I think right now you're more than likely gonna have to sell it lower. So maybe that 275 is 260, right? So instead of making 40K, you're making 25K, right? So as long as you understand that,
Mm.
or you have a way that where you're like, hey, well, if it's 260 and they're asking me for 5K in concessions, I'm only making 20K,
Yeah.
like stuff like that, right? Like where you can understand exactly what you're getting out of it, and you're not so stuck on like, no, I need to make this much. I think that's really what's happening
Yeah.
on the flip side right now. So as long as you understand that, I think you're okay.
Yeah. It's like that movie 21, right? That's the movie with the card counting.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You account for variable change. You
Hmm.
account for variable change. So that being said, flips, yes, they still work, right? You just either A, need to buy it lower, or be okay with the extra strategy, right? That what if it doesn't sell? Cool. You need to be okay with the flip side of that coin. Or you need to be okay with making less than what you would have thought you were gonna make, right?
It's tough. It's tough to be okay with that. I've been there, and you know, some of the investors that we work with feel it, and it's tough, man. But
Liquidity
Jonathan,
matters.
yeah, Jonathan has a great explanation with that, which is liquidity matters.
Liquidity matters. Your money is more important in your pocket, right?
Hmm.
So you can reuse and recycle it than stuck in a house, right?
I love it. We're
So,
giving game away.
next one to cost you. Where do you find good deals?
Mm. Hmm.
Proprietary information.
Come through
What's a better investment, flip or rentals? That depends on your patience
your goals.
and your appetite for money.
Yeah, yep.
That's what I would say.
I'll throw goals on top of that, but I
That
think you're
too, yeah.
right. Like there's people that are like really aggressive and they want money, money, money right now. That works too, right? And then there's people that are like, no, like I want to take it slow. I want to just like start, a little bit slower, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they get rentals. There's obviously a mix. Like you don't have to be 50-50. You can be 70-30. You can be 60-40, right? Whatever the case is. But I think both of them are good. It just depends on your goals and what you're trying to do. Yesterday we spoke with Victor. With Victor, we spoke about like, hey, here's what your goals are. Here's how you backtrack it and you build out this system to build that, right? So, but yeah, we help you build a system. We're not just helping you buy a deal. We're helping you build systems that can achieve your goals through rentals and flips.
True. What advice would you give to a beginner starting out?
Tell them, John.
Oh man, I think it goes back to having a clear goal, right? And then reverse engineering how you're gonna get there. Obviously, when you start out, you don't know what you don't know,
That's
right?
true, man.
Uh,
Be graceful.
but being open, being open to advice from people that you want to be like, right? Because too much advice can also hurt you. I would say that too much advice, too many opinions can hurt you
Paralyzes you.
and can paralyze you, right? So I would say I would say that, man. Get establish a goal, establish a time frame for the goal, be as detailed as possible with your goals, reverse engineer how you plan on getting to that goal, and then mimic like other professionals in the industry that have achieved similar goals or have achieved what you want to achieve, right? And if you can, if you're lucky enough, shadow them. If you're lucky enough to shadow them,
Yeah.
right?
If you're gonna shadow somebody, bring value.
Definitely. Don't just shadow just a shadow. Like,
Bring value.
yeah, help them something. I don't
Yeah.
know, whatever. But yes. You want to add anything to that
No, I
or no?
think just be graceful with yourself. You don't know what you don't know, and just try things. Um, there's no dumb question. It's only dumb people that don't ask the question. Just ask
Right.
the question.
Next question. Recommend an inspection for an investor prior to buying. Do you recommend an inspection for an investor prior to buying? I Tough, man. Tough because
Short answer is yes, though.
yeah,
How is the different?
yeah. Short answer is yes. Yes, you should always inspect the home and do your due diligence, right?
We always do.
We always do. Um, Off market deals is a little bit tougher to get an inspector in there, right? And for the most part, it's because most of these homes are either abandoned or the utilities aren't on or stuff like that. So it's not even like you can do a full on inspection, right?
Yeah,
That
you can't.
it's tough, man. But yes, I would say you should inspect every home, whether it's you, whether it's a licensed inspector, whether it's a general contractor or a specific trade, right? Or someone that's done it before, one of your mentors, who knows, right? Yes, inspect the home. Do you miss me? No.
Whack. Whack question.
What's the most common mistake future homeowners make and and how can they avoid it? What do you say?
Say that again?
What what's the most common mistake future homeowners make and how can they avoid it?
Mm,
Most common mistake for future homeowners and how can they avoid it?
buying a property is one of the biggest purchases for a lot of people, right?
Correct.
So I think like I see it from multiple facets, but think about it like this. Like it's almost like because it's such a big purchase, you put it on a pedestal and then you forget a lot of the little things. And I think those things is what bites you in the end. Let me explain. So because you put it in such a big pedestal, like for example, you might compromise on location and you might go with the one that looked better but was further, but you didn't go with the one that maybe didn't look as good or whatever, but it was closer to where you needed to be family wise and other things. And so it ends up costing you time. The other thing is you underestimate a bit larger lot, right? And you have more maintenance than you really wanted to do, just so you can say you have a larger lot. I would say those are two like kind of in my mind like hidden things that people don't really pay attention to and you compromise on. Um, but yeah, I would say underestimating maybe some of the maintenance that comes along with the home.
True. Aside from appliances, what would you recommend new homeowners purchase that will aid them lots. Aside from appliances, what would you recommend new homeowners to purchase that will aid them lots?
That would aid them?
Aid them. Like what would that would
That would
help
help
them a
them?
lot? Yeah.
Oh.
Aside from appliances, what would you recommend new homeowners to purchase that will help them a lot? Uh,
A lawnmower.
uh a lawnmower.
Lawn.
Yeah.
No, I think, that's a good one. Nice vacuum. I'm kidding. No, I mean,
Those
I think it just
Dysons.
depends on what you get into or what you like. I think you want to. I have this thought of like you got to treat your home as a sanctuary where like you want to hang out at, right? So buy things that help you enjoy your home a little bit more.
Yeah.
Lately, I bought a grill.
We got a Traeger
Got a Traeger, man. Dope.
with a couple coupons, right? And points redeemed. We got that joint half price.
Yeah,
Something that was $1,200, $1,300, got it at like $600.
yeah,
You believe that? And it got a couple more discounts on top of that.
yeah.
Cause I just add a lot of sauce
Hey, quick question
anywhere
to
I go.
production. Production. How's the chicken that we made on the Traeger? There you go. Co-signed by the
I don't
production team.
listen. The production team loves chicken. I don't wanna. I don't wanna. Give away any hints, but I'm sure you guys can imagine
Yep.
what the production team looks like.
Yep.
Whatever you're thinking, you're right.
You are 100% correct.
Cool. What what do you need to be accepted for a loan?
What kind of loan?
Depends on the loan. That's true.
What kind of loan? You know, can I say this real quick?
Say it.
Yesterday, right? We had somebody I like this person, right, has a lot of cash and no credit, right? And
Currently, yeah.
currently. Long story short, he was like taken back that he didn't qualify for just traditional loans, right? And I was like, no, listen, like you just for traditional loans right now, because he wanted like something specific, like he just couldn't get it, right? I was like, but we can still get you a house. We just have to go on this other side, right?
With the investment loans.
The
Yeah.
investment loans or like non-QM loans. And he was like, nah, I don't want to pay a higher interest rate, right? So I would just say, look, there's many loans out there to figure out like what you need in order to qualify. I don't know, man. But here's three things for you to consider when you're buying a house that you need to understand. Credit. So you need credit if you're buying traditional way. Credit, you need income, stable income. If it fluctuates a lot, it's super tough to really gauge unless we average it out for like a couple years or something like that, or a year sometimes. However, and then the property, right? Like a good property that has a good value. That's kind of like a given, but overall, credit and income is kind of the biggest thing. So
True.
on the investment side, man, it's the wild, wild west. We don't necessarily look at those things. We look at more of the deal, if it makes sense for you to purchase. So there's other things that we look at, but yeah, short answer, long answer. That's what it is.
What was your inspiration to get into real estate? You want to tackle that one?
Oh my God.
1500 por una hora.
1500 por una hora.
Just kidding. Now, my inspiration.
John spends his nights at Norwoods Highway at Kiora. There's
Now,
a wonderful Asian buffet at midnight.
what was your inspiration to get into real estate? Besides the folks, right? The folks was the initial inspiration.
Yeah.
Afterwards, I would say My son. I think I talked about it. Yeah, I talked about it on the other, well, part one, how
Yeah.
I missed the birth by like 10 minutes because I was taking a test for real estate on my last course to be approved to take the state and national exam, which I also aced, by the way. But yeah, after that, I mean, got the license, got rolling. But yes, I think that's my inspiration.
I think for me, it's just my kids building
Yeah.
a great family, great legacy, just good stuff, man. Just building something bigger than what I envisioned as a little kid. I never thought I would be doing this. I thought I was probably just going to be flipping burgers, man. So now that I'm here, obviously we want to increase it. So it's sad to say in a way, but it's also like so beautiful to like have come such a long way. And
Mhm.
then also we look at our kids and like how, just happy they are and just joyous to be around. And anyways, I just want to give them more. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's the biggest inspiration on a daily outside
Yeah.
of keeping production employed, that
Yeah.
that inspires me every day. Production, are you having a great time?
We'll reveal the production
We're gonna have a podcast with
soon.
production just
Yeah.
coming up.
Very small team, but
Very small team of all of them,
yeah.
all of them.
Yeah. Now, what tools or apps have made your real estate business easier?
Oh man,
Proprietary information. Nah, fuck it.
you know what? Crazy enough, a calculator, bro. My calculator app is like always open.
That
I'm
shit's
always
always
using my
like,
calculator.
yeah,
Just like
always running number.
run a number, yeah,
Yeah.
underwriting deals.
That
Sounds cliche, but
on this side, I mean, I would say, look, definitely, it depends on what, right? But social media, nonstop. I mean, you got to give its flowers to the social media, right?
yeah,
So Facebook, Instagram, all the other social medias, Twitter or X,
tiki talk.
right? The Tiki Taka, right? The TikTok. I mean, shit, even LinkedIn, right? LinkedIn. What's the other one? YouTube.
MySpace.
YouTube is underrated. YouTube is underrated, but now we're on YouTube, right? Also, the podcast. You can
Podcast,
listen to
yeah.
all the podcasts on Apple
Apple,
and on
Spotify.
Spotify. So next up, we'll be on SoundCloud. We'll be SoundCloud Realtors.
SoundCloud Realtors. Come get a drop. Get your
Yeah.
first drop right here.
No, yeah. But that uh CapCut,
I would say CapCut, man.
CapCut has been amazing, right? I don't use it, but I know it's amazing because of what I see, right?
Yeah, CapCut for
So,
sure.
but yeah, all of those tools.
Obviously, look, all the AI stuff too, right?
Oh
But
man,
like, think of like
ChatGPT.
top CapCut, right?
Yeah.
And then the social media platforms.
ChatGPT, if you go to ChatGPT, Chat
Shout out
ChatGPT,
Riverside too.
inside of ChatGPT, there's apps inside of ChatGPT that help you do many other things, right? Whether it's videos, whether it's music, whether it's, I don't know, movies, whatever, right? But yes, dive into that. Whatever systems you use, fuck with them, right?
Don't
Dive
fuck with
into
them.
it. And
Utilize them.
you guys get the gist, right?
Don't get
So,
just utilize.
all right. Last question. Last question we got so far. Uh, do you do hard money loans? Ta-da! Yes. Ding, 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 ding.
Welcome. Welcome to
Shameless
Flows
plug.
Financial. We're here to help you out with all
Yeah.
your hard money loan needs and non-QMD.
Non-QM loans, DSCR loans, hard money loans, all of the above. And if you need traditional loans too, we can get you plugged up with those as well.
Yep,
So, yes, any loan you can think of, call us.
got it. You know what? I got a lender that financed a fighter jet. That's how much into loans we are, man. Just like I didn't do the loan, but I have the capability of getting you plugged into something like that, which is far rare.
True.
True, true.
Yeah. So that has been it for today, guys. That's all the questions you guys asked.
Shout out to production.
Shout out to the production team. Next up, we'll be doing Q&As in Spanish to all my Spanish speakers. But stay tuned for more. On to the next one.
Nos vemos.
Ciao.